What is up, everybody? Welcome to Start, Build, Grow Show.
JobNimbus is a fully customizable back office solution.
Track leads, jobs, tasks from one easy-to-use software.
And with the largest ecosystem of integrated partners, if we don't do it, we have a friend who does.
Learn how the number one back office system in roofing
can help you be efficient, be organized, be professional, and be profitable.
I just think our salespeople are being a little bit of, lead babies.
Yeah, we don't say lead babies. It's okay for people to specialize in selling instead of canvassing and lead gen for themselves. We call them roofing sales professionals.
Surprisingly, sales are way up as we built heavier duty lead gen systems and let our salespeople be roofing sales professionals.
Today, we are on site, actually, at the Commercial Roofing Academy, and I am here with a very special guest. The man, the myth, the legend, incredible, story, incredible career in the commercial space, and I'm excited to dive into that. Mr. Cameron Wade, what's up, buddy?
Hey, bud, man, I appreciate you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you, man. We finally now kind of start to get connected with one another. And typically on the show, really, we want to start with the story. So how'd you get into the roofing space? How'd you get into, what you're doing now? And then we're going to kind of press into that a little bit.
Cool. Well, again, I appreciate the introduction. And I'm not that cool, but I do appreciate it. And really, how I got started, my dad owned a GC company called Miracle Maintenance back in the day, the 80s and early 90s. And of course, he always did side jobs. He was a head maintenance supervisor over huge facilities. He would go to troubled apartment complexes, multifamily, bring them up as far as mechanically. But then, of course, he always had his GC company. And we probably did about 10 roofs a year. Sometimes all hand nailed. And so my first jobs, 14, 13, were carrying, bundles up and down a roof, and then graduating to wearing the Home Depot, satchel that's got all the nails in it, and handing a handful to the guys so they can put them in their mouth and in their fingers and going at it. And then eventually sliding the shingles down, and then eventually the guy that's nailing them. And not that I was excited about any of that. and I honestly, I didn't get paid for any of it at that time. I was just happy to be there with my dad because that's how tight we were. So that's really how I got started in it. And as far as just being a fixer and wanting, my dad was a huge kind of the low class, what I call sometimes, brown Santa Claus. That, people that needed an HVAC, like this old lady, and it went down in the middle of triple digit Texas summer. My dad was the guy that would go and build one for her out of stuff that he already had and go install it for free. Is that good business practices? No. Is that probably reasons why my dad didn't have longevity? Sure. He had a huge heart, but not the best business sense. And so I got, I believe, the heart and the purpose from him.
Yeah, I love it.
And seeing what that effect has on people when you give it everything you got. And it's not transactional. It's about, hey, we're just people on this planet. And it's hard enough doing it by yourself, but when you can really feel like you're not alone, that's something I levitated towards. And I've been in all areas of sales and business development, but it was about 13 years ago that I got my first chance at insurance restoration in Texas. My buddy, they still own Colin Howard and Reagan Parsons own Correct General Contracting in Texas. They do a ton of roofs. They do a ton of foundation repairs. So I learned a lot about that as well, from top to bottom as far as construction. And, we luckily got some great storms there in Texas that first year and just killed it. And, from there had, of course, the ups and downs in life when you're not necessarily used to getting large amounts of money dropped in your lap and, going through your own troubles and tribulations as a young adult, as a man trying to figure out, who I am and what my purpose is here. so slipping up from time to time and going, I think I've worked for over 10 different roofing contractors in my life, learning the good and the bad. And then also, down the road, owning my own BS.
Yeah.
What came with those relationships, because, whether it ended and I didn't get paid for this or that, there's things that I think there's three sides to every story, right? And it took a while, but to finally, I think, own my part of all that helped me grow and really fall in love with this industry again, because I took a year off and got into digital marketing, reputation management through brand awareness and all of that with Consumer Affairs, a great SaaS platform. But what that taught me was I really need to be back in this industry. There's so much help people need. And like I said, like I'm very highly self-aware now of who I am, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what got me here, and how I'm just blessed to be here with this opportunity. Even to talk to you. I mean, I've been watching you, and all I've ever heard is great things about you.
Thank you.
And I've made the mistakes of having the wrong people in my circle. And finally, in this point in time in life, seeing the fruits of all of that labor of dedication and doing those little things consistently and just levitating towards even relationships that might scare you. And here we are. Didn't you find out, oh God, it's not so intimidating. This dude's just a regular guy. And that's kind of how, again, what got me into what I do now is finding out that, man, us as contractors, there's a lot we can't do to help at the end of the day. We can, do a lot of things to help, with an insurance claim as a contractor to help with the duties after a loss. There's only a few that you can do. It's mitigate further damage. It's photo document. It's, be consistent and meet, all the requirements. But as far as sworn proof of losses and all of that, and as far as the insurance, just digging their heels in and being downright, evil, for lack of better terms.
So we're going to dive into like large loss and like HOAs and how to really get into that world and how to build a right team and how you guys can help with that and how you've really created a cool, unique way to do that and see a lot of success there. But I want to press in a little bit on something I talk about a lot, somewhat facetiously joking, but roofing is not a job. Roofing is a lifestyle. We all find roofing, or better yet, roofing finds us one way or another. And like myself, I grew up in construction, but really grew up in roofing. I mean, I've been in roofing now 17 years, or construction for over 20 years, roofing specifically over 13 years. And now it's like, I feel like I've grown up as a human, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and all because of roofing. So it seems like that's your story as well. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. How, we find roofing or roofing finds us. But at the end of the day, we become who we're meant to be. A lot of us when we get into the roofing space. And I think that's powerful. I think it's pretty cool to own that,
That's awesome. I mean, because literally it's almost like a cult in ways as far as the following.
It's a really small, really big industry. It's weird.
It is. And what's really neat is you can see people go through their life growth, their metamorphosis, until finally this beautiful butterfly of like realizing, well, wait, I don't have to hate what I do. I don't have, doesn't always have to be the negative. Like in reality, this is a beautiful industry. The people that are within it, the true ones, it just sucks. Just like it's the social media, and just like your reputation, your reviews that you get on Google or whatnot or LinkedIn, that's only a small portion of your audience, that is actually spreading that word. And you have a lot of huge cheerleaders out there that you just need to ask them. You just need to do the little things the right way. And there's just so much love, great opportunity here, and reasons and opportunity to grow. The people just want to help you. And that's one thing that I finally owned is this is me. This is not a job. It is not about the money anymore. Yes, those are great things that got me into it and made me hungry. It is my sole purpose. I want to find victories for other people, for the policyholder, number one, and for my contractor brother and sisterhood out there, because I am a roofer at heart. I always will be. And I can now find victories for all of us at the same time. And that's pretty powerful. And I'll always reinvest in our industry. That's why I'm here to learn. So I have more to offer, because everything changes. I mean, our whole industry is going to change in the next 48 months. We were talking about, next month, who knows? It's just It's an ever evolving and adapting, kind of serpent. And I'm just happy and proud to be on this train and call it my home. And these are my people.
Yeah.
And I love it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of us can relate to that because, when it comes to roofing, and I heard this the other day, and this statement really was profound to me. And it was, those at the bottom, people who are just kind of getting going are competing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're just starting or small scale entrepreneurs or business people, they're competing with one another.
Yeah.
But the ones that are finding success are collaborating with one another. And I believe that this industry, and I like to even think that, that's one of the things that I was able to really pioneer a little bit from my perspective, is when I got into this industry, I saw that. I came from a third generation. I'm a generational contractor. And my dad, my grandpa, they were all about, it was just a generational thing. Mm-hmm. They just did what they did, learned what they learned, and kept it all under their own chest, right? Yeah. It's like, I know what I know, and I don't want to tell the competition. Yeah. The competition is going to copy me. And I think this industry has evolved over the last decade to where it is an industry of collaboration. Mm-hmm. We're at the Commercial Roofing Academy here. I own the Roofing Academy. We've collaborated together to support. I have a lot of clients. A lot of my TRA members are coming to CRA and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And we help systemize and build systems for businesses, and they come in and help you grow your commercial department. And that's where you come in. That's what you've kind of evolved in, and with what you do. And we're going to dive into that here in just a sec. But I just think it's incredible when you actually embrace collaboration and you embrace supporting one another. I'm a big believer that a rising tide rises all ships.
You're right.
And I think that's where this industry is going, and it makes me more and more proud and grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I think it's helped me big time find more grace and forgiveness for the people in the industry that at one point in time I thought maybe hurt me, especially when I started owning my own, that there were times where people invested a lot in me and I just didn't rise to the challenge because I was, I was too busy not being all in. And I think that's the biggest thing, is not being lukewarm. It's hot or cold. You're either in or you're out, and you will find the success on the other end of full commitment. You're going to struggle. You're going to go through challenges, and that's great, right? It's supposed to hurt.
You're just learning.
Yeah, that's why we remember those hard lessons.
Passage.
It truly is. It's like, I guess I never felt back in the day that I deserved the great opportunity. But now that I'm here, I know I do. I've worked my tail off, and I've really found the holes in me, and I found the right people to help me fill those holes. And I'm just a better person because of this industry. And in the collaboration that you're talking about, that intimidation of, they're big time, or they're way bigger than I am, or way more intelligent about this industry, because there is so much to be intimidated about. But in all reality, to have these conversations just opens up the doors. Like, dude, you're just like me. How you got here, your struggles, your own fears, your own insecurities. We're not alone. And if you maybe dare to be great a little bit and reach out to the person that's next to you, closest to you, practice on strangers. I'm telling you, and build up that confidence to ask that intimidated person or whatever that maybe you've built that wall up. And you're going to find out that, wow, how identical we might be in a lot of ways. And that gives me hope and gives me tools. Like, well, how did you overcome this? How can I scale me as a personal person alongside with me as a brand and as a business? Yeah. So, man, it's awesome.
Love it. Yeah. And the intimidation factor you talked about, so many of us to this day, man, I get on social media and you see this person's doing way more than me, or way less than me, or this, that, and you come to these type of events and you're like, my gosh, they're doing things that I'd never even thought about, or I'm like, I can't do that. Stop all that. All we can do is get better today than we were yesterday. And the more we can build a network around us that's going to support that, the better off we all are.
Yeah.
So don't let the intimidation factor, don't let the imposter syndrome deter you from pressing forward and putting yourself out there. You never know. We're here with Commercial Roofing Academy. I've become really great friends with Paul Reed. And there was a point in my career, Paul maybe watched this, but there's a point in my career I was like, oh my gosh, he's the biggest guy in town. I knew what their volume were doing, and I'm just getting my business started. 10 years later, we're collaborating all the time. We've become great friends where our businesses support each other, our consulting companies support each other, and you never know what's going to happen. But I had to overcome that, oh, he's too big for me.
Yeah.
Too good. No, none of that. Like, I'm bigger than other guys, but there's other guys out there bigger than me. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings. And if we have a good purpose and we align our values and our culture and what we're trying to accomplish, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You just collaborate and find good people and you just get better. And you'd be surprised. Like, I do consulting and I work with contractors who are just getting started or just, smaller, trying to grow and scale their business. I learn more from them than I actually teach them.
Dude, tell me about it. Here in Colorado, I've been spending some time with about 3 very young. I'm 42. These guys, these men, are 25, 26, and this is their second year in the industry, and their relationships that they've been able to grow. They're getting me on $10 million projects. And this is their first go, just because the information I think is out there that there's some great leaders out there in the space that just really like you, that just exude positivity and transparency, and like we're just real humans that they've followed, and like, holy crap, I'm learning how to backdoor some of these relationships like they have, and I'm just like highly impressed by these two young individuals. Later, when I get their permission, I'll definitely throw them out there because they are they just light my fire every day to go work with them, because I'll go out with them on they call me up, I'll go spend the day with them and we'll have a ball, and it's incredible to see.
And that brings us around to that topic, right? So you've evolved in your career to the point where you focus all your energy on large scale, large losses. You've recently joined the National Claims Advisors, which is a subsidiary of Daly and Black, which is like the precipice of legal firms that support the policyholders in our country. One of the top, if not the top firm in the country. And now they've created National Claims Advisors, who your whole job is to avoid going to litigation, avoid getting the lawyers involved. But you're the guy that comes in, and helps navigate the waters of large scale projects. And I'm talking like multiple digits in these projects. And it kind of blew me away. We start this business, you get into it and you're like, man, I did 10,000, 20,000, 30, maybe you do your first $100,000 job and you're like, wow, I made it. That's great. But there's a whole nother world out there.
Yeah, there is.
You just mentioned a $10 million project. Yeah. One project. I'm not saying everybody go dive in and do that, because there's a lot that goes into it. But that's why you guys exist, for those of us who want to maybe capture that one opportunity. We know somebody and we're able to get in the door and we're able to connect with a potential large project like that. You guys, you've built this whole business model where you come in from a legal angle and you're able to help navigate that. So give me some education. Like how does that whole thing work? What do you guys do on your day-to-day, when it comes to National Claims Advisors and what you're doing now day-to-day? You're not out there hustling, slinging shingles anymore. You're out there making major things happen in the industry.
Well, thank you for asking, because it's been a whirlwind, and it's been like huge changes over the past 2 years. In fact, just in the past couple months. I became a licensed public insurance adjuster, started my own small firm, which is still going, just residential, but just going through that the past 2 years of being a PA, and seeing that even as a PA, there's so much we can't do. So as it just made so much sense for me to partner with NCA, because how we roll is we still charge, it's all pre-litigation. It's still the 10% that your PA firm would be charging, but the largest difference is the files being handled by an attorney from day one, and that conversation starts completely different. The adjusters that are working on them are completely different, especially if we get on from the beginning. The timetable you'd want to take about sales cycles and cash flow, that window and that time is cut very short, because again, it's insurance is, they're a risk management company, right? Or, conglomeration, spread across multiple countries. And they look at contractors on a file, even the best contractors, that's not too big of a risk by itself. And then you even put a PA firm on that. Well, the risk goes up, and as you can tell, even within the insurance policies, they're even writing out PA involvement. excluding PAs from being allowed on a file. And it will get worse. Does that mean the end of PAs? No, we've been around since over 100 years. There's a lot of history out there. They've been trying to kill us from day one because we have been the only thing standing in the way before legal. Yeah. But still, from day one, that conversation is completely different because they know who we are. They know who the attorneys are that are working the file. They know we're watching for bad faith immediately, and we're not going to just get them for the actual losses incurred. We'll get them for penalties for whether it's bad faith or bad claims handling, all of that. And it's just so my job now is I don't even work as a public insurance adjuster anymore. I am like you, a consultant. I will, because I can't necessarily go knock on a door and solicit anymore because I'm a paraprofessional with a law firm now. I go with my team, my contractor, who are my experts who we utilize in the field. And to be able to go to a large multi-million to billion-dollar conglomeration, HOA, hotel, hospitality, firms out there, they like a turnkey solution. Being able to go in and have a solution and not have to go do all that heavy lifting, especially when you have a pedigree that follows that. So we're able to take all that heavy lifting off. We go and help close deals with the contractor. 9 times out of 10, we're closing the deal at the same time. We're also having the policyholder fill out and sign what we call a roof rider that's going to protect our contractor that brings us to the dance. Yeah. We're going to dance with them. We're going to make sure. I've been screwed over a ton of times as a contractor, going through the same thing. And as a PA, going through that, not being able to protect my relationship, go and they do all the work with us just to be underbid by someone that they got out of the garbage can. That doesn't happen with us. We protect that relationship because, again, if we don't, you're not going to refer us anymore. Yeah. It just makes sense. It's not literally out of just the kindness out of our heart. It's just smart business. Yeah. And then, again, our relationships is everything to us because we don't go knocking on doors. We can't. Everything in the commercial space is relationships, and having the experts there to communicate their side of things it's paramount to go in with a team where you're on the same page. And hey, if you're not going to sign this roof rider, that's fine. We would love to have your business, but we don't need it. We're going to go get some more. Yeah. And it's just been a great. You want to talk about ticket times when you're sitting at a restaurant? You can see when you're receiving. Dang, it's been 30 minutes, and the average ticket time is like 2 minutes. At a McDonald's or whatever. So it really starts like, what the heck's going on? It's the same thing with an insurance claim file. There's statutes of limitation. PAs and contractors can only go so far. We'll still always partner with PA firms. We get tons of business from them. And it's just the business is evolving and we have to evolve with it. And that's where I found my perfect home. I feel more empowered. I can do so much more for my contractors and for the policyholders. And it's the relationships, nurturing those. And learning and realizing you can't do it all alone. You're not alone and you shouldn't dare try and do it alone. So ask for help because there's a lot of people out there that can open some incredible doors that are just, waiting to introduce you to a whole new life.
Yeah. I mean, as we start to kind of land the plane here from a contractor's perspective, we all want to grow and that whale hunting, that big job, it's out there and you can achieve that. 2 things. One, there's nothing more frustrating in our business, I don't think, than when you do all the work to help somebody. You get the claim filed, you help them with the whole progress, you help them with the whole deal, and then all of a sudden you got this monster job, and then they pull it out from under you and give it to somebody else that's a little bit cheaper. That's frustrating. How do you avoid that? You partner with the right people. That's what they're here to help do. And the other side of that is getting that job in the first place. Mm-hmm. And you're not just going to walk in there as a single contractor saying, hey, I'm going to come, I have all the credibility to do this $2 million project. Mm-hmm. You want to approach that from with a team. Yeah. A team, a consultant, your supplier, your manufacturer, your legal team. Everybody goes in there as a team. You present to the HOA together and you set a precedent of like very, very professional, a very professional organization. Mm-hmm. And you know what you're doing. You have a team. You're going to build credibility. You're going to give yourself a much better chance of landing those deals. So it's out there. there's a lot more out there than just your average, hey, go knock on a door and sell a $20,000, $10,000, $15,000 roof. So expand your horizons, try to, grow your business. By all means, connect with me, connect with Cam, or anyone on his team. I'm excited about what the future holds in this space. I'm pushing hard with a commercial roofing academy right now. I'm pushing hard to grow my commercial side of my business. And I think that's just the evolution of where we have to go as contractors. Yeah. And we want to do it the right way with the right people and try to avoid some of the mistakes that I've made, that you've made, that Paul's made, that all these people have made. Let's avoid those mistakes. Surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
Cam, couple things. One, how do I get a hold of you, my man? If someone's watching this like, hey, I have a job, or I want to just pick your brain some more, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just give me a shout on my cell, 682-412-7216. That's my personal cell. If I don't answer, text me. Just like you guys, you're probably on a roof or with a client. So, just give me a call.
Okay, and you're on social?
Yeah, Facebook. You'll find me on Facebook, Cam Wade. My full name is Cameron Wade Uranga, but that's a whole different story. We'll talk about that, Facebook and Mark.
So just Cam Wade on Facebook. Yep. DM you, connect with you there. Perfect. By all means, you can connect with me. I'll connect you with them. So in traditional fashion, in the Star Build Grow Show, I like to put my guests on the spot at the end.
Dang.
I'm going to put you on the spot, and our audience, entrepreneurs, roofing contractors, hungry, ready to grow, entrepreneurs not just in roofing, outside of roofing. What is your golden nugget, my friend? What is something, maybe a piece of life advice that someone's given to you or that you've lived your life by that you'd want to share with our audience?
So that's a good question. One that my father told me a long time ago, multiple times, especially when I wanted to make excuses of why I wasn't where I wanted to be. It's a boy does what he wants to do, and a man does what he has to do. And also lead with your heart every single time. Draw boundaries in the sand. You don't have to go through the hard struggles. Definitely draw circles, draw lines in the sand of your relationships. Make sure you're having the right people in your circle to rely on, because there was times where I didn't in my career, and it hurt me, and it cost me a lot of time, and that's one thing we cannot get back. So, definitely just do your part. Do the hard work now. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to, burn and grain in your brain, and just lead with your heart.
Love it. You heard it here, folks. Cam Wade, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Take care, everybody. As always, if you like the episode, interact with us, leave a comment. So make sure you subscribe. We have 250 episodes plus, tons of episodes, tons of amazing content here. So like, subscribe, share with your friends, collaborate, and go out and hustle and make things happen. Your business goes as the leader goes. Yeah. So grow as a leader, become the best leader you can be. And you're going to see your business grow, and you're going to see your life improve. Yeah. Take care. God bless.